Hi, it's Maggie with Golden Lights Within, and today I have a video more focused on, connecting with others, and especially when maybe there's a difference, in opinions, or not necessarily like a disagreement, just maybe you're having a hard time like seeing their perspective or just viewing another person in a positive light. So this is something that you can do when you find yourself doing that, because again, when you're doing that, that is going to be more in that low vibration, right, emotion category. And that's, at the end of the day, it's just not good for you. It's not good for your health, right? It's not probably like how you want to spend your day or feel at all. And so if we can just, first recognize that, like, I don't want to feel that way. So then we can start flipping the script. And this does take time, right? This is not an overnight thing because it's so counterintuitive to what you want to do. And so, let me just explain, right? So if there is someone that you're having like a difference with in opinion, or just kind of some type of conflict, or just not, you're having trouble viewing them in a positive light, just whatever you're thinking about them, literally think the opposite, because every single thing has both sides, right? The duality, right? We can show a not so good side of ourselves and a good side of ourselves. So really view this person and try to view like all the best things about them, even if like everything within you doesn't want to, like that is where you have to push past that, because it's going to feel kind of forced and counterintuitive at first, but that is where that change starts to take place. So, viewing that person in the best light, even how you think you imagine they want to be viewed by others, or, things that are important to them coming to fruition, and just almost like a visualization, right? So you're just taking this person and just imagining the very best for them, the best way they could show up, even if maybe in your perception, you don't believe they're showing up in the best way possible. There is potential for that person, to show up in another way. So just start imagining that. And I've heard this being phrased as like, look at someone with like, all, through eyes of love. I think that's a Neville Goddard type thing. But just, again, it's probably, you're going to know you're doing it when it feels like everything within you wants to do the opposite, right? Like, you don't want to view them in that light, right? Because you're bothered by something. But just flipping the script and like knowing, right, everything has like the good and the bad side. So can you work at always viewing it from the best light possible, always viewing this person from the best light possible? And that will change how you show up and act towards that person. And then it will also then change how that person acts toward you. And you're going to feel way better. It doesn't feel good to just like hate on someone, and that just doesn't feel good, right? I think we all know that. I don't need to like delve into that. So, an example could be, if you have a neighbor that's complaining about something, that you did not do. This is actually a situation that I had, and, the complaint was like a noise complaint. I knew it wasn't like coming from me. But from their perspective, they weren't, they had the wrong person, but it's okay. Like they didn't, they were doing their best. They're obviously, something could be going on in their life that they're frustrated about, and this sound just added to it. And, they reached out to the wrong person, because they just, mistakes happen, right? And instead of being, really upset with this person, like, how dare you like misunderstand this? Like, how dare you accuse me, right? Just to, instead the interaction is like, okay, if this is this person's like, side of them that's more frustrated and stressed and just having a hard time in life, like, what could this person be like? This person could be loving, like, to their family, could be, even if they're not showing it, even if they haven't showed it in a really long time, like, believe that for that person And this isn't to discount, right, any like disrespect or tolerate anything like that. It's just so that you feel more peaceful inside and you don't lower yourself to that vibration, right? And I think that point too is really helpful. Like, you don't want to be on that level, that like low level that's making you feel icky inside. You don't want to bring yourself down to that in life, right? So that has also helped me a lot to just like be like, I don't want to be at that level, so I'm going to stay like way up here and be peaceful and kind, to not shift down to that level. And so again, that is ultimately like for your own well-being and peace. And at the end of the day, it will start shifting things for other people, because they're going to expect more of like a fighting response and conflict and anger, and like, what does that do for really anybody, And so again, these are not overnight things, just something to think about. And again, I get it, like, it's not natural, and it's pretty hard to do at first, but it's worth the challenge, because like, when you think about it, at the end of the day, do you want to spend your energy feeling frustrated and upset with other people, or do you just want to try to see the best and move on and feel good and peaceful? And that's really like the decision that you're making by how you respond in those types of situations. So I hope I didn't ramble too much. I hope that was helpful. Just something I've been like chewing on and thinking about, and not saying, I obviously have this all figured out. This is something that, again, I'm actively trying to do in my life. That's why I bring it up. It's not because like I do this every time, it's something I'm trying to do. And so I think that the more that we can like spread these ideas when we're all trying to challenge ourselves to be better people and to think about things differently. And so, I'm always open, right, to feedback on that. If you have like another way that you do things that helps you in those situations, I think that we all could benefit from that. So thanks for viewing this Golden Lights Within video, and I will catch you in the next one.